Water in the boat. I know last year I said that I was going to install a bilge pump. If you guys seen my other video, having one of those pumps sucks. Those hand pumps sucks. So I figured I'd go ahead and install electric bilge pump. So if you can see, right up there, there's my setup. Now it goes in, the battery's over there, and that also fits right inside my Merino battery box there. There's plenty of room for it. So coming back, there's a bilge pump. It's one of those small ones. I'm gonna get a bigger one down the road. Okay. You can either hit the manual or you hit the auto. And that way if you get dumped out of the boat, you can at least sit there and let it drain it out. It's not the fastest pump. I'm going to upgrade it and get a bigger one down the road, but for now, that's better than that hand pump. I could still carry the hand pump, so I could be outside still pumping out the boat while that's going too. Kind of just make it go a little faster. That seems to be dumping out pretty quick. And you can just keep it there on standby. See how the button's still engaged, but the motor's not going. So that means, you know, if it's a crappy day and you think that flipping might be a possibility, you just keep that button on. So that way, if you get knocked out of the boat, you can just flip it and it will automatically start pumping and you will not have to even bother with the button. It will just be there as your safety net, okay? So that's one of the main things that I've done. And the last thing that I've done here that I want to point on is this right here. My shields. Those shields are made out of Kayak. The same stuff that's used out of gun holsters or knife holsters, knife sheaths. Okay, and that Kayak, you just take the heat gun and you can mold it into any shape that you want. Oh! I just randomly kicked on. Apparently there was a little more that I could get out. Cool. I still thought, here we go. Get the last little bit of water out. I think there's some debris stuck in there. All I use to hold that on is the 3 mil adhesive double-sided tape there. And as I put that on thick, I stick it on, and then I take that heat gun, and that's when I finish the final mold. And that really helps the glue from the adhesive tape to really stick. I run this right across the rocks, guys. I drag this around, and Kayak is really scratch resistant. It's scratch resistant and it is rugged stuff. So you can run that, drag that, and you don't have to worry about ruining the value of your boat. One season and I scratched some pretty big gouges under here. So this is working awesome, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to do it to my girlfriend's boat next year, so I will be doing a video of how I did it and how I cut these cuts to go backwards. The water's going this way, so make sure it's your cuts. The water can run across and through. You don't want it going the other way where it's going to cause drag. You want to make sure that those cuts are going the way the water, the way the boat's going to go. Here's the front so you can see how this is coming in. You do have to cut it a couple times so you can get it to mold the proper angle. So you want that mold so the water's going to go that way along with the boat. But that Kydex really does good. I've whacked a couple things up high. Probably the next one that I make will come up really high and then down. But this is the first time I did, I tried this. But I'll come up from here and then bring it down for the next one. Once this one's worn completely out, which is gonna be a long time. It's gonna be a while. This is starting to get pretty scratched up. But if you take that heat gun, to it, you can smooth a lot of that back out. And this plate's a lot bigger. This one's more robust, covering this whole section. But you just keep molding it around, then you cut it to the design that you think is fit, and you just keep molding it. You need gloves. Once you get all this molded in, that's when you want to clean the boat up with some rubbing alcohol, get it all nice and clean before you put that 3mm adhesive tape down. And I covered the whole back side of this with the 3mm and then put it on, then took that heat gun so I could press it all down, get it fitting tightly, and then let it cool down. And guys, this isn't coming off, man. I don't even know if I can get this off, to be honest with you. But guys, I've been, dragging that thing through mud, and I come up hot onto rocks, and those plates aren't coming off. They're on there. I'm very impressed and happy with that idea. Somebody suggested it online. I can't remember who it was. But I said, I'm going to go for it. And you can buy these sheets of Kydex for really cheap. And if you have one of those hot guns, you can freaking fabricate a lot of stuff with that. You can go ahead and make a lot of cool stuff with it. And the third and final thing that I've done to this old girl, and I think it'll be the last thing that I do to it, is I hooked it up with lights. That's right. She's got lights now. Along with a USB charger port right there. That's right. I can charge all my phone, all my camera stuff right from there. So that's a big bonus right there. So I didn't realize that it was on. I gotta turn that off. Press the button. It's a touch button right there to turn it on and off. Just close that up. But that's on a breaker and it's all waterproofed. But if I was to flip, that would just short out the breaker and then that wouldn't be useful anymore. But that's okay. But the pump and everything else would still work just fine. So this right here is one of those old GoPro cases that I just modified. Everything's going down and through. All you gotta do is just switch that over and there's your lights. I did have to cut one hole, drill one hole on each side. So to put in the lights, I did have to drill a hole, but I like this lip right here. So if your boat bumps on anything, the lights are protected. From this angle, you can't even see the lights. It's once you come down, that's when you actually see the lights there. Here it is, so you can see. It's coming through and inside. So when you lift this up, plenty of room for the battery. This is a 55 amp. I have also a 75 amp, and that just covers this whole section, and it still allows me room for this box. And with that 75 amp with the 35-pound thrust, I can get about 8 hours, guys, of solid ride, you know, trolling around all day and be good. With this one, you probably get about 4 to 5 hours, and I'm talking you're running that thing constantly. But this allows me to have my other battery. I run my lights and my pump off of this right here. I can't get this out. And this is just, that's what I'm using for the lights and pump. Eventually I got a better waterproof box, but for now this is good enough. That's down in there. With that in, that's up here. This, another little add-on, a strap right here, holds in, allows us to go around, and buckles up tightly. So if I was to flip, this isn't going to just come flying up out of my boat. So that's off quite a bit of light. That's the button. And just this guy right here. This thing is actually really cool. Very simple to clip on. Just hooks right there on that little eyelet that I have. One-handed, sorry. To secure it, just put that down, pull tight, up and around. Yeah, I can pull that tighter. I'm one-handed here. But even that, it can rock, but it's not going to come off. But I'd pull that tighter. She's plenty bright enough. Especially that. Lights up the whole house.